1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the DJ Ritchie Show.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Here we go. We got a full show tonight. By that, I mean a lot of material to cover and the entire 2 hours. No rude interruptions by ball games and coaches shows. TJ, the realist Ritchie, is on tonight. So I can put on a whistle if that makes you feel better. We do a damn coaches show up in here, if that's what you want. Actually, to start things off tonight, I know I joke around a lot, but I want to be serious here. I don't want to be serious. I am going to be serious because every night I come on this show and I talk about things that are a little bit edgy. Sometimes I approach subjects that a lot of broadcasters wouldn't talk about in the way that I talk about it in, plain speak. Untrained broadcaster speak, I guess is what it would be called. But my intentions are always true and good. I think that one of the most important issues in our political system and our culture right now, and what I think would be so helpful, is to get black people to realize just how rotten the Democrat Party has been to them over the years. Now, I know we're having more and more black conservatives pop up here and there and all that, but I've always said it's cruel the way Democrats use black people the way they do, and that they're taken for granted and they're treated like, of course you're going to be a Democrat or you're not black. And it's just, to me, it's dehumanizing, and it's racist in the true sense of the word. And the things that I say criticizing the Democrat Party and what they've done to black people is what always gets accusations thrown at me by people who, I guess, they don't have the mental capacity to understand what I'm talking about. So they just lash out and call me white supremacist, racist, blah, 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 whatever. But here's what I want to get across tonight. It is at this moment, it is so important that black people and white people of America come together. Now, the reason that I want black people to understand what the Democrat Party has done to them as a people in the United States is not because I will just say Republicans would never lose another election if the majority of black voters voted for them. I don't care about that right now. The thing that I'm most interested in is the decency and the morality of what could be if they got out from under the thumb of the Democrat Party. But here's my point now. Putting politics aside, no Republicans, no Democrats, we have to come together, and not just black Americans and white Americans, Asian, Americans of Asian descent, Americans of Latin descent. Every American needs to come together and fight something that is going on that threatens the very fabric of our country. Because when it comes down to it, no matter whether we agree socially, politically, or whatever, as long as we are Americans, this country is the best place for us to be. This is the greatest nation in the history of the world. So when I see these foreigners coming in and announcing that they are taking over, and I'm talking about extreme Islamists like Horan Mamdani and that Omar Fatah, whatever his name is, in Minneapolis, who's from Somalia, waving the Somali flag, speaking a foreign language, saying that he's doing what he's doing, running for mayor. He's doing everything in Minneapolis for Somalia. Dearborn, Michigan, all of these American places that are slowly being taken over by foreigners who want to change it and bring it to its knees. We can't just let it happen. And the more we're fighting with each other, the more they love it because we're distracted. They're not distracted. These extremists that want Sharia law in the U.S., they want everybody, or they demand that everybody be Muslim. And listen, I'm on social media digging for things all the time that I can bring onto this show that'll be compelling and entertaining. And I see it everywhere, every day, multiple videos from different parts of the country of Muslim extremists saying, this will be a Muslim country. Get used to it. Don't fight it. We will turn this into a Muslim country. Well, this is not a Muslim country. This country wasn't founded upon Muslim beliefs and faith. There are plenty of countries that were. But when you're dealing with an ideology that accepts no other faith, and its goal is to do away with all other faiths, that means every one of us Americans, no matter what color we are, no matter what our ethnicity is, if we are Americans, we are in danger right now of losing our country. And the commucrats are just going to let it happen because they're all for it. They think that they're going to be in charge. The communists, in the Democrat Party coming out of the woodwork thinking that they are going to be in power, but it's not going to be like that. Because you know what? A white communist might as well be a white Christian as far as these Muslim extremists are concerned. Sharia law doesn't allow for white Democrats, black Democrats, Republicans, anything other than complete and total dedication and devotion to the Muslim faith. Now, you may not like what is going on with this group of voters or that group of voters, but we do at least need to have that one goal in common that we're all working for, and that is to not let this country be taken over and turned into something it was never meant to be. Turned into a third world nation, which is what it would be. And we can't be afraid to speak up and speak out. Right now, I'm sure there are people who are listening to this that are freaking out, and they're calling me an Islamophobic, an Middle Eastern person, anti-Arabic, anti-whatever, white supremacist. And it's just stupid because would a white supremacist be calling upon all other races to join together to fight this takeover of our country? No. But I know if things are hard for you in America and you run around spouting off about America this and this ain't never been a good country and we ain't never been great. What do you mean make America great again? We ain't never been great. Go try living in one of the countries that these extremists come from. Go to Somalia and try to live. See what happens. See how long you last. No, we got to protect America. We've got to. The streets of some of our biggest cities just taken over by thousands and thousands of foreigners who don't like this country, don't want it to be what it is, trying to change it into what they want it to be, as opposed to the other way around. It's just really been bothering me, and I'm going to go to work on it somehow, some way. But I mean, I'm just one person. I have no power or anything, but I'm going to see what I can do, what I might be able to get rolling. But we've got to start banding together as Americans and keep our country from being taken. Yes, I said our country. It's our country. And if you don't like that and you don't like America, get out. Like I said, if you're over here from some third world nation like Somalia, you ought to wake up every day and thank your God that you're in America and that America is what it is. We don't need you over here talking crap about our country and trying to change it. And it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. All right, hang on. We got more coming up next.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up. He's radio royalty in the Carolinas and Queen Charlotte's sweetest prince. It's TJ Ritchie on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Charlotte's Mr. Charmed and Dangerous. TJ the Realist Ritchie. I am the realist. D-A-R-E-A-L-I-S-T. The realist. Right. Okay. Time to have a little fun with politics. Well, first of all, let me say I had a good time last night at the News and Brews event at Heist Brewery. I love that place too. That was a cool place. Got to hang out with the team, the WBT team. I don't get to see them very often because I'm up in the building at night. I see Brett Jensen all the time, but I don't get to see him very often anymore since I'm doing a lot of stuff from home now because I can't afford the gas. I can't afford the gas to drive in there since they don't pay me. But hey, I'm loving it. Did you have fun last night, Isaac?
I had a great time.
Yeah, my wife loved you.
She was nice. It was nice to finally meet her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And is that online anywhere? Did they video the whole thing to put it up online or anything like that?
Nope, got to be there in person.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So in other words, they didn't think of that. I get it. I'm kidding, of course. Okay. So the government shut down. The Democrats are making absolute fools of themselves, especially the Democrats in the House. You see, it's gone around what their strategy is, how they're going to handle things, how the message that they got to get out is that the Republicans are cruel, trying to starve children. They've been doing that for so many years. Ugh. They're coming for our children. And it's just a played out tactic. And the thing is that this messaging that they have, is stupid. And even the liberal news people are kind of calling them out, are making them go a step farther in explaining what they mean when they say some of this stupid crap. I've always said that if you followed up, you ask a question to these professional Democrats on TV, you ask them a question, they go through their nonsense, and then throw out those platitudes. All you got to do is say, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And then they would have to explain what they just said, and they wouldn't be able to because they know it's a bunch of crap. The media never has done that. Well, a few of them are starting to. Okay, so we're going to start with Big Sleepy, Hakeem Jeffries. And he is talking to Caitlin Collins on CNN, who I don't care what anybody says. I know she's crazy liberal, lunatic, all of that stuff, and she's mean most of the time, but she is pretty. Credit where credit's due. I think she's pretty. And somebody needs to tell her I said that, because I'm sure she's a feminist and would appreciate it. Anyway, she's talking to Hakeem, and he's saying this whole thing about he hasn't even heard from the speaker. I haven't heard from the speaker. He hasn't tried to get in touch with me. And they've been on vacation. All right, so cut 14, go.
Said that Mike Johnson's not willing to sit down and have a conversation. Y'all did have a phone conversation, I believe you said earlier today. Who initiated that call? Was that you or was that Speaker Johnson?
It was a call from Mike Johnson. It was very brief, and it wasn't a substantive discussion in terms of finding a path forward.
But was he calling to talk about the government shutdown?
I mean, you could say that was in the ballpark, but, it was a private conversation that will remain private. However, nothing meaningful came out of it, again, because Donald Trump has not given Mike Johnson permission to enter into a bipartisan negotiation. Caitlin, House Republicans have been literally on vacation for the last 5 weeks. They've canceled votes 5 consecutive weeks in a row. They are uninterested in doing anything other than jamming their partisan Republican spending bill down the throats of the American people. And as Democrats, we've made clear we will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people. Period. Full stop.
Period. Full stop. Okay, well, this is why he's so damn stupid. Mike Johnson doesn't need to call you for anything, Big Sleepy. The continuing resolution has already passed the House. And guess what? Wake up. Get off that indica. It passed the House. You're in the House. It's done. It's the Senate that's holding it up. Who needs to negotiate a damn thing with you? Nobody. Nobody. Who you think you are? Somebody? You're not. Mike Johnson shouldn't even be calling you for anything. Except maybe to play a prank on you or something. Laugh at you. Clown. But that, ladies and gentlemen, that clip, as ridiculous as that was, and then Caitlin Collins, all she got to do is say, hey, well, wait a minute. You said he called you. What was that about? Was it about the... That's all she had to do? Exposed him just like that. He didn't know what to say. Started getting agitated because they're not used to that. You see, they think they own everybody in the media, and if the media does something to question them, then they become. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute! You're not supposed to question me like that." But as silly and stupid as that one was, we have another one from an Oregon representative who, I don't know, she seems like, if you took her brain and shoved it up an ant's butt, it would look like a BB in a boxcar. Not a smart lady. So wait till you hear this. I don't have time to do it in this segment. We'll do it right out of this break. So you don't want to miss it. Hang on.
The TJ Ritchie Show. He's America's coolest conservative. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WPT.
Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. You can call or text 704-570-1110. If you text into this studio, you need to know one thing. You need to know that it's driven by Liberty Buick GMC. In other words, it's sponsored by Liberty Buick GMC. Driven by is fancy, cool radio speak. Driven by, built by, enhanced by, those are other things that you hear. But no time for a radio lesson right now, ladies and gentlemen. No time for that. we got to get back to the Democrat clowns trying to make people believe that the Republicans are just trying to starve children. They're trying to starve the children. When the House of Representatives has already passed the continuing resolution and it's being held up in the Senate by, the Commucrats. And you go, you control the House, the Senate, and the White House. What's the problem? And again, that just shows how dishonest they are. They know what the deal is. They know that, you got to have 60 votes. You can't just have a simple majority. See, Democrats aren't as slick as they used to be politically. They used to be like, it's so frustrating. People would know that they were just full of crap and all that, but they were a lot better at it. Now they just dumb. This crop of Democrats is just stupid, man. Stupid. Case in point, this woman is a Democrat from Oregon. So this is going to be good. Her name is Janelle Bynum. And she was on some news program, and she came out with the same messages that Hatua Jeffries, Big Sleepy, Mr. Indica, came out with. The Republicans don't care about meeting with us. They're just starving children. They're not trying to get anything taken care of, anything done, blah, 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 blah. So cut 12, go.
I just got here. I don't play politics. I want a clean bill that focuses on the American people, that makes sure kids have a full belly, and, all of the clean this, clean that. Americans don't understand that. They know if they have their benefits or not. So put a bill on the table, make sure it's very pure and clean, as they like to say, and it doesn't have a whole lot of fluff in it. I'm not here for games. I just want to make sure kids get fed.
They did have a clean CR vote on September 19th in the House. Did you vote for it?
I disagree with your characterization and want to make sure that we're very clear about what Republicans have been doing. Any bill that they've put forth, they've always had some extra stuff to it. There's always been a poison pill to it. So I disagree with your characterization.
What were the poison pills of the clean CR or the continuing resolution? You say it's not clean, that was voted on in the House in mid-September.
Yeah.
Here's what's important. I think what you're trying to do is shift the responsibility to Democrats. Speaker Johnson controls the House. He should come back, pull Republicans off of vacation, and make sure that we have discussions on what the country needs. We know children need to be fed. Anything else is passing the buck and is playing politics.
Okay. What a masterful politician she is. Ooh. You, ladies and gentlemen, just witnessed a master class in how to answer questions from aggressive reporters. You would think, this is what I'm talking about. You would think that if they're sending all these people out, all these elected professional Commucrats out there with a bogus message, that they would come up with a scenario where somebody said, okay, now what are we going to say if the reporter says this? And you go, well, if they say that, here's what you say. They don't have that part. They said, go out there, tell everybody that the Republicans in the House are on vacation. They've been on vacation 5 weeks. They won't sit down with us and come up with a clean bill. They don't want to help feed children. They don't want to blah, 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 blah. And then they said, go. So this poor woman, who seems to have, maybe an IQ of 31, she lives in Oregon and she's a Commucrat, so she can't be that smart. They send her out there ill-equipped because they don't realize that they need the follow-up responses now. You see, ladies and gentlemen, they've never needed them before. All they needed was that initial Republicans bad, starved children, on vacation, playing golf, don't care, won't sit down with us. And then either the person in the media would follow up with more softball questions and kind of join them in attacking the Republicans, or they would end the interview and go, okay, very strong words from the speaker. Thank you, speaker. And hopefully you will be able to get this taken care of soon, straightened out. And he'd say, thank you, Caitlin. Always glad to be on with you. And then he goes and fires up that indica. Gets a little bit more sleepy. Eyes droopy a little bit. Who's my next interview? D9. I said D8. I don't need D9 gummies giving me energy. I'm trying to go to sleep. I don't do any of this dope. I just listen to the children and what they say, the young people. You know, I have to stay up to date on young people things for my other show. But aren't you glad I do? Hey, I can bring you this because you need to know it too. You got kids and grandkids. You need to know what they're talking about. I don't smoke the dope. I run around high on gummies all the time. I just know about it and can find the humor in it. Especially when you look at somebody like Haktua Jeffries and he looks like he's about to fall asleep. He looks high as a satellite all the time. You know how they have that thing that they'll call resting bee face? He got resting high face is what he's got. I mean, big old head, looking high as a satellite all the time. That's why it doesn't make sense. You watch your mouth. That's why he always sounds like he wants to fight somebody. He sounds drunk all the time. But man, we need to keep an eye on this Janelle Bynum, though. I think she could provide us with a lot of comedy. I know she's just one representative from Oregon, and I don't think she's one of the powerful ones, but we need to keep an eye on her. Isaac, if you and Lonnie Ray can keep your eyes peeled and pull as much video of her that pops up as possible, we're going to make her a star. You with me? You hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Got the last segment of this hour coming up, and I don't know. I got a million places to go with it because the material tonight is so solid. I put it up against anybody's material anywhere. And thank goodness for your sake that you're available to hear it. Hang on. We got more coming up.
It's TJ Ritchie. Radio, podcasts, and cool social media content. Get all the TJ you can handle at WBT.com/TJ. Now, back to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
WBT. News Talk 1110 WBT. Love it, love it. Love it. WBT. So I have a programming note, as the real broadcasters would say. I'm not going to be on tomorrow night because there's some kind of a rude basketball game or football game or something that's rudely interrupting my show, forcing me out. But I will have a podcast with fresh material on it that will be up at tjritchie.com. And Tuesday night when I wasn't on because being rudely interrupted by some kind of sporting event, I did a podcast that night too at tjritchie.com, podcast only. So I'm bringing the fresh material even when I'm not on the radio. And I would appreciate it if you go to tjritchie.com, like and subscribe to all my social medias and everything, because it looks like that's the only way I'm going to make any money out of this deal. I got to be an influencer or something. No, I'm just kidding. I love it here, but yeah, the other stuff's serious. Doing fresh material for you, even when I'm being rudely interrupted by sporting events. Because you know what? That's the kind of SOB I am. You know? That is the kind of SOB I am. All right, so before we move on, I'm sorry. I found that clip of Oregon Representative Janelle Bynum so entertaining, so funny. I want to hear it again. So please indulge me for a moment. This is for my entertainment, not necessarily yours. I'm being selfish here, but Isaac, if you could just play that one more time, I would appreciate it. Go ahead. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cut 12 again. That Oregon Rep Janelle Bynum.
I just got here. I don't play politics. I want a clean bill that focuses on the American people, that makes sure kids have a full belly. And, all of the clean this, clean that. Americans don't understand that. They know if they have their benefits or not. So put a bill on the table, make sure it's very pure and clean, as they like to say, and it doesn't have a whole lot of fluff in it. I'm not here for games. I just want to make sure kids get fed.
They did have a clean CR vote on September 19th in the House. Did you vote for it?
I disagree with your characterization and want to make sure that we're very clear about what Republicans have been doing. Any bill that they've put forth, they've always had some extra stuff to it. There's always been a poison pill to it. So I disagree with your characterization.
What were the poison pills of the clean CR or the continuing resolution? You say it's not clean, that was voted on in the House in mid-September.
Here's what's important. I think what you're trying to do is shift the responsibility to Democrats. Speaker Johnson controls the House. He should come back, pull Republicans off of vacation, and make sure that we have discussions on what the country needs. We know children need to be fed. Anything else is passing the buck and is playing politics.
Your mischaracterization. What are you talking about? Mischaracterization. Those are the facts. They passed a clean resolution in the House. Did you vote for it? Yes or no? I don't accept your characterization of this. What? Oh, man. Have I ever told the story about the waitress that we used to have in Alexandria, Louisiana at the Shoney's restaurant? We would go in, Ace, my former partner on the radio, and I, when we were in Alexandria, Louisiana, starting off, we would go do these club gigs where the radio station would broadcast live from the clubs. And we get off work at 2:00 in the morning and we go to Shoney's breakfast bar. It was a big breakfast buffet. And there was, back then we called them waitresses. She was very nice, but she had memorized the script for how you approach the table, what you say, then when they say this, you say that. And so I would go ahead and answer the questions before she would ask from her script. Like the script was, okay, would that be all for you tonight? And you say, yeah, thanks. Can I interest you in a delicious dessert? That was always it. Okay, no, we're good. Thank you, just the check. So I would say, okay, yeah, we're ready for the check. And she'd go, okay, you're all done then? And I would say, yeah, we're done. And, we're not interested in a delicious dessert. And she would still have to say it. Can I interest you in a delicious dessert? I said, no, She stuck to that script. She said, I got to say this script or I'm going to get fired or whatever. That's what this woman was doing. She knew all the lines, you know, bellies, get little kids' bellies full, so forth and so on. Wow. Okay. So I have another clip here in regards to the government shutdown and losing the SNAP benefits and all of that. I talked about this on just the podcast version of the show the other night, but since we're back on the radio, I wanted to play the clip. This is a woman lying in her bed, full makeup, all decked out for the video, but for some reason needs to be in the bed making the video. I don't get that. That's a young people thing. But this is what she's talking about losing her benefits. Cut 6, go.
I don't know why y'all trying to glorify that women that have y'all kids ain't finna get no more food stamps, no housing, no nothing. Guess what? Guess what that mean? Step your ass up. Because the government been taking care of your baby mama and your kids. So now it's your turn to take care of them. What, you going to have your kids in the homeless shelter? You have your kids in the streets? Y'all might as well be a whole happy family at this point because ain't no more $1,000 food stamps. Now guess what? You going to have to spend that $1,000. The housing oh, you got to prove for $2,000. Guess who going to have to pay? Yo or take them kids. Take the kids. Just take them. Take the kids. Take them. So we can live our best lives. Yes, we've been struggling. Yes, yes, we have.
So I was kind of with her along the way there. Like, yeah, I mean, that should have been happening all along. The fathers of these kids should have been taking care of them. They should be one big happy family, like she said. But then she got to the part about take the kids so we can live our best life. And that is just so sad. And it really does. It's evidence of what so many people say. Not everybody who gets the government benefits is like this, but so many people say they just have kids to get more money from the government. They don't want kids. They just have kids because it adds to their government handout. They get more money for each kid. If that doesn't prove it, I don't know what does. That there are a lot of these people out there that do that. She doesn't care about her kids. You know, a caring mother, a mother that really loves her kids and is proud to be their mother and cherishes their relationship with her children. Would a good mother ever say, take these kids so I can live my best life? Hell no. A good mother would never say that. A mother who loves her kids would never say that. Because what she's saying to the kids is, you're holding me back. These kids are making my life worse. I don't want these kids. These kids are an anchor, an albatross around my neck. Which I'm sure this lady makes the reference to Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner all the time with the albatross thing. Take these kids. We can live our best life. What are you talking about? You witch, you. Somebody should take those kids and put them in a house where people are struggling because they want to have kids and can't. Take her kids while they've still got a shot in life. Sick. People out there acting like this. And then, telling men that they're going to have to step up and do what they should have been doing in the first place. But this is why Lyndon Johnson and all those racist Democrats back then, this is why they created the welfare system. Because they wanted people like her, poor people of all colors, but it was mainly designed to keep black people on the Democrat voter rolls. Keep them addicted to government, addicted to handouts. I mean, it's frustrating and infuriating a lot of times to watch these women making these videos on social media and all, and the men. But when it all comes down to it, it's the kids who suffer. And they're innocent. All right, hang on. We got more coming up.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up. News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative.
I hear it.
Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show.
All right, the Green-Eyed Patriot is on the air everywhere. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. You know, I was just looking at some of these Islamists, Marxist communists that are running for high office in some of our biggest cities, including our biggest city. But that one that's running for mayor of Minneapolis, he looks like a skeleton with an afro. I mean, it's weird. He looks like, I know everybody say he looks like one of the pirates in that movie with Tom Hanks that took over the cargo ship, and he does. But I mean, he is. I don't like to talk about people. But yeah, he's very unfortunate looking. I can disagree wholeheartedly with someone and their political beliefs or their political tactics and things like that, but still feel sorry for them when they're being done wrong, when they're being mistreated for something that of which they are completely innocent. And one of these people that I feel so sorry for is former First Lady Michelle Obama. I mean, she has really gotten a raw deal her entire life. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you think about it. Sure, she hates America and she's a, Marxist and blah, blah, blah. You can make all those arguments. But still, she's a person with feelings. And for people or the world to have just dealt her such a horrible hand, it's like she just can't catch a break, this poor woman. And of all of the things that she's told the world about how hard she's had it, I had no idea that she was suffering under, suffering hair oppression. She did an interview with People magazine. I guess maybe she has another book coming out or something. I don't know. But listen to this poor thing. Cut 13, go.
It's freedom. I mean, this is what we understand about our hair as women of color, that the way our hair naturally grows out of our head, it's beautiful. But if we struggle to make it look like the standard, that means we are spending thousands of hours and lots of money straightening out what is naturally curly hair, right? And that takes time out of your life. It costs money. Braids allow me to get them done, and then that's one less thing that I have to think about. I can put them up in a ponytail, I can tie them back, I can have them out, I can diversify, but I still have freedom. And that's what I want in my life. While I love, changing my styles and doing all the fun things with hair, when I'm out of the public eye, I am swimming. I am playing tennis. I work out. I like to be active. I don't want to have a stylist with me, because a hair can't get out of place, right? And braids represent that kind of freedom for me. Also, I understood the symbolism of me wearing braids as the former first lady. I wasn't sure whether the country was ready for it yet. The Crown Act hadn't been passed yet. There was a lot that we were trying to do. And just like fashion, I didn't want my hair to become a distraction. But I understood the significance of wearing braids to our portrait unveiling. I wanted to send a message as well to young women and to all of us as women that we should be the ones determining what is appropriate for our hair. Not our boss, not our workplace, not some standard that doesn't even reflect us. Let us be the ones who make the decisions about how we want our hair. And if I want to wear it straight, if I want bangs, if I want braids, if I want them up, if I want to add a little color to it, let that be my business. Nothing is inappropriate. So I wanted to send that message. I wanted to add to the chorus of Black women in places of power saying this too is an appropriate and beautiful way to wear your hair.
Yes. Yes. Could not agree more. And, people hear that and they think, oh, you just are constantly trying to make a victim out of yourself. You have lived the most pampered lifestyle of anybody ever has in this country. You went to the best schools. You married a guy who was lifted into the office, the highest office in the world. You were treated like a queen by most of the country. And yet you still, after serving in public office alongside your husband, you come out on the other side of that and you became a multi-millionaire, probably close to a billionaire. And yet you still have to sit there and act like you had to struggle with how to wear your hair because you decided that you didn't think the country was ready to see a Black woman in braids. You are so full of crap. You talk about, that's how, I don't know how she and Barry have stayed together, even though I don't think their marriage is like a normal marriage. I don't know how they can stand each other because they're both such off the chart clinical narcissists. It's incredible. It is a gift. It is a gift that she has to make herself seem like a victim every opportunity she gets. It's unbelievable how she does it. Here's something that you need to know, former First Lady. Nobody gives a damn how you wear your hair. Nobody cares. And if anybody does care, you know who it is? It's the fashion people who are Democrats that might criticize you for how you wear your hair. We conservatives don't care. We don't give a damn about your hair. We care that you hate this country and that you're a Marxist and dangerous. That's what we care about. You could have snakes on your head. We wouldn't care about that. Now, here's where I have to disagree with the lovely First Lady. I got news for you. It doesn't matter what race you belong to. If your boss doesn't like the way you wear your hair, then he or she should be able to say something. And if you don't want to change it, then you need to get another job Because, see, this is what she doesn't realize because she never had a job. The boss, aka employer, does dictate what goes on in his or her company. And if you don't like it, you get to step in a capitalist system, which is probably another reason why she doesn't like capitalism. You work for a Fortune 500 company and you're going to come in. Let's say you decided you wanted to have green hair and a septum ring and walk into a shareholders meeting like that. Somebody's going to tell you to get out of there. As they should. You can't just walk around saying nobody should have anything to say about what we do but us. Yeah, I guess that is true to a certain extent. You know, if you want to just be alone, living in a world where you don't have to answer to anybody, including somebody that's paying you, fine. But I mean, she just so full of crap. She's such a BS artist. It's just incredible. But it's a talent. I'll give her credit for that. It is a talent. Victimhood, turning yourself into a victim when you have been given way more respect and money and success than you have ever deserved. It's quite a talent to be able to make yourself a victim in those shoes. Good for you, Michelle. Good for you. Hang on, we got more coming up next.
TJ Ritchie Show. Identifying liberalism and mocking it relentlessly. This is the TJ Ritchie Show. On News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Ramming, jamming, slamming. We got it going on. Got it going on like a pot of neck bones. Look at that. Green-eyed Patriot is on the air everywhere. Glad that you are here and witnessing the history being made with every word that comes out of my face hole. Look, I just found this story, and I know the gist of it, but we're about to find out the details together because I'm just now reading at the article here. Headline, Democrat. This says Democratic, but I like to say Democrat. I don't say Democratic. Democrat state senator accused of secretly filming two critics in bed to try to silence them. Ooh, juicy. So juicy. A Democrat state senator from Maryland is accused of orchestrating a scheme to secretly record two critics, including a former campaign consultant, in bed together and using the footage to threaten and silence them, according to a newly unsealed federal indictment. Federal prosecutors say Maryland State Senator Dahlia Attar, her brother Joseph Yossi Attar, and Baltimore police officer Kalman Finkelstein secretly filmed the pair during an intimate encounter, then used the recording to intimidate them into silence. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. When at first Democrats learn to conceive. Back to the story. The 20-page indictment, unsealed Thursday, charges the trio with conspiracy, extortion, illegal wiretapping, and violations of the Travel Act. Prosecutors allege the group targeted the consultant, identified as Victim 1, who had worked for Attar's 2018 campaign and later supported her political rivals. Victim 2 was in a romantic relationship with Victim 1 and was married to another person at the time, the documents say. Scandalous. According to the indictment, the defendants placed hidden cameras disguised as smoke detectors and a tracking device in the victim's apartment, later reviewing footage that showed the pair in bed together. Prosecutors say the recording was then used to threaten exposure if either victim spoke publicly against Attar or supported her opponents. In early 2021, Attar allegedly discussed how to stop potential criticism, saying in a WhatsApp message, "We have a very easy, simple way to get her to shut up and leave us alone. She's worried about her kids." She allegedly added, "I'm not saying we leak this anywhere or ever do that, but I'm saying we warn her, if you go ahead and screw with me, we're going to leak it." What a mean vixen, y'all. What a mean vixen. December 2021, Joseph Attar allegedly met with one of the victims at the Baltimore shopping center and warned, "I have hours of footage of you in bed with victim one. Go to victim one and say, 'Leave Dahlia alone,' or I'll share this video with everyone you know. Every rabbi in town, your kids, your wife, her daughters." Prosecutors say the threats continued into 2022 as the defendants allegedly worked to ensure both victims remained silent before Attar's re-election campaign. The indictment also says the three coordinated through encrypted WhatsApp messages, which they regularly deleted to avoid detection. Charges carry potential penalties of several decades in prison. Attar's office did not respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. These Democrats, boy, they do not play around. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of one of the greatest television series in the history of television called Ray Donovan. It was a Showtime series. Ray Donovan. Incredible. He was a fixer, they call it. He was a fixer in L.A., in Hollywood. Who is blowing me up on the phone here? Hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's my brother and my wife in a group text. "I'm on the radio." Damn. Act like they don't know. And I'm up on the radio. If I'm not being interrupted by ball games, I'm being interrupted by my own kin. What is that about? Anyway, the show's called Ray Donovan, and it's fantastic. But that's what he would do. He would blackmail people for their silence, or, you know, he's just a constant, you know, he worked for an attorney, he worked for celebrities, whatever. Just always trying to have an upper hand on this one and that one and keep them all straight. So, yeah, maybe they were fans of that show, and that's where they got the idea. But, I mean, this is some serious business. I mean, you go into somebody's apartment and you replace the smoke detectors with cameras, or put cameras in the smoke, whatever they did. Ooh. But, you know, it's just a day in the life of a Democrat, a professional Democrat. And she just looks mean. They got pictures over here, just sitting there looking mean. Ugh. And girl, that black and yellow is not a good combination on you. I'm just going to say. It's what she's wearing in this picture. Looks like she's sitting in the House, not her house, the House of Congress in Maryland. Naughty, naughty. But she got to go to penitentiary if she's found guilty. She got to go to penitentiary. All of them. Then again, victim one and victim two must be Democrats as well, so to hell with them too. They're professional Democrats. There's probably nothing to them. Put them all in the penitentiary. Sort it all out in there. By the way, I don't think I'm going to be getting called for jury duty anytime soon. Just a hunch. All right, hang on. Got more coming up next.
It's TJ Ritchie. Late, live, and local. It's The TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WPT.
Moving, grooving, having a good time. Remember, I'm not going to be on tomorrow night. I won't be on the radio, but I'm going to cut a podcast. So you got fresh me. Fresh TJ the Realist Ritchie. Because, it's too important. The things that I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's too important to be just silenced by sports on WBT. So there will be a podcast only show tomorrow. Just make sure you're checking in at tjritchie.com. And Ritchie is spelled Ritchie. Spell Ritchie the cool way. Ritchie, tjritchie.com. Like and subscribe to all the social medias there, whether you ever go look at them or not. I don't care. If you could just like and subscribe, that would be great. I'd love it. Thank you so much. So much. Young Isaac, can you jump on a minute, or are you busy watching TV or something?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. So we had the News and Brews last night, and it was a lot of fun. It was there all of the staff from WBT got together with a bunch of listeners from WBT audience and had some drinks and delicious food and some Q&A sessions and just an opportunity to mingle and talk personally with the people who support the radio station. And I always love doing those kinds of things. That's one of my favorite parts of the job. And but I haven't been around the building today, and I figure that there will be a lot of talk about what went on last night with the big News and Brews event. So what was, as the kids say, the scuttlebutt around the building today, Isaac?
What I heard, everybody that mentioned it to me said that last night was one of the best they've ever had.
One of? Or
one
the?
Of. One of. I don't know if I got any of these, but I definitely had plenty of one ofs.
Okay.
Great turnout.
Yeah. Well, what was different about last night that made it, that would have possibly given it new life and more energy than it's had in the past?
Well, I was there.
Yeah, that's the first one you've ever been to?
Yeah, that was the first one I've ever been to.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, that could have added something to it, but it seemed like there had to be some big feature that hasn't been there in the past that made it a little different.
Let's see. They had good chicken and waffles, and Heist Brewery had some new IPAs out.
Yeah, but they always have good beers and food and stuff. So
yeah. You were there. It was your first News and Brews.
Oh, you think that would have been it? Of course it was. Of course it was. No, in all seriousness, I didn't know how to handle that because I didn't know. Was I talking too much? Was I trying to be too much of a clown? Because whenever I've done those things in the past, I've been the main attraction, and I wasn't the main attraction last night, and I didn't want to try to take it over as like I thought I was the main attraction. So I thought maybe I might have been talking a little too much.
I heard a lot of the viewers talking. They were saying TJ Ritchie is the man. He's the realist, is what a couple of them said. Mm-hmm.
I did notice though, and I don't know whether this was a coincidence or what, but I did notice though when I was speaking, there was a hush that came over the crowd that, where there had been a roar of people chatting out in the audience and stuff. But then as soon as I went to say something, it just got silent and undivided attention. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But it was fun. And, but I don't like maneuvering in the big dangerous city, especially when it's raining and dark and, trying to find parking and all of that kind of thing. I don't like it. I like being up in the quiet suburbs. But and I used to love going into the city all the time. I've always lived in the suburbs, but I used to love going into the city, when it was just the big city. But when it became the big dangerous city, that's when it started to change, when the Democrats took over everything. That's what happened. But it was fun, and I'm just kidding about it. But hey, 11 listeners, you may find this to be humorous. I tackled the whole issue of the guy taking my jokes and thinking they were serious and trying to get people up in arms months ago when I was doing that whole thing about saying I was going to take over the morning show and all that. Were you surprised that I just blurted that out and started talking about that? Because I hadn't talked about that with any of the management at WBT.
Was I surprised that TJ Ritchie said something that nobody was expecting? Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But yeah, and I was on stage. It was just Bo and Beth and me for a while on stage. And then I made it clear to them, to their faces, that I'm coming to take over the morning show because I'm a morning radio expert. And why would I not be the morning show? And I told them to get off the stage. I told them go home. Don't y'all have to leave? We got it. We got it from here. Y'all go to bed. I mean, go rest up. Rest up.
It was funny when they started talking about that, and they said that they have to be up early, and you're like, y'all know I still do a morning show too, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to cut one morning show and one night show and turn it into just one big morning show on WBT. But, you know, hey, look, they thought I was kidding. I was kidding. I'm just having fun, just having some fun. But that was a good time last night. So thanks to everybody who came out, and thanks to Heist. What is the full name? Heist Brewery and Art
Barrel Arts.
Barrel Art? Yeah.
Yep.
It's a
Heist
cool
Brewery
place.
and Barrel Arts. It was.
Cool place. The name of it's a little wordy, but still, they make up for it.
And if you ask the bartenders for the closest IPA to Miller Lite, they'll hook you up. They got some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, they're not IPAs if they're close to a Miller Lite. See, even I know that, Isaac. I don't drink I'm not an expert on the craft beers and stuff, but, you know, a Miller Lite is a Pilsner, so that's not an IPA.
All I'm saying is...
You're so stupid. Oh, my God. I can't believe how stupid you are. Oh,
if
God.
they don't sell it at a gas station, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm classy like that.
Good point. And if they don't sell it at a gas station, you don't give it to your girlfriend as a gift.
Barefoot.
Do they still sell those panty roses at gas stations?
I've not seen them.
You know what I'm talking about? Or was that before your time?
I think that was before my time, but they may sell them because I just beeline straight for the Millers or the Busch.
Well, they're usually sitting up on the counter if they have them. They're up there with the 5 Hour Energy and the cigarette lighters and stuff. But they used to have these, it looked like fake roses, but instead of it being plastic, fake rosebud, it was a pair of panties folded up strategically to look like a rose. So, I mean, what a romantic gift. You can never go wrong with a panty rose for your lover. Here you go, baby. I bought you this, a Penthouse magazine, and a 5 Hour Energy. Happy anniversary. And a pack of smokes. Virginia Slim 120 menthols.
But we got to share those.
Yeah. They're long enough we can both get a full cigarette out of one of them. But, yeah, I may not have been paying attention at the beginning because, you know, Bo and Beth, they don't choose political sides and go down that way, do they? They're pretty much, you know, like a news program should be. They're not biased, right?
Yeah, I think they keep it pretty down the middle.
Right. And I think that's in the beginning, they kind of explained something like that, like when they're on stage that they won't be getting into the political discussions and things. And that was supposed to be later on. But when I was up there with them, I made a joke about, you know, I never would want Democrats in the studio with me and whatever I said. And then Bo immediately picked it up and and I could feel it. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, I guess. And then when I tried to apologize, I made it worse. It's just like a bumbling idiot up there for a minute. And it's because I didn't hear, because everybody was talking when he first started explaining the rules and everything. I couldn't hear. And, everybody was trying to talk to me because I'm a superstar, and people just trying to, they say, oh, wait, he's alone now. Let me go over there and get a minute. Let me get a piece of him, And so I was distracted and I felt bad about it. But then later on, of course, we talked about the politics. And that was fun with that, Brett Winterble wearing a crazy looking suit. I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know that was his sense of humor, to be going for it like that and wearing what was that suit? What was it themed with that movie, the black and white movie that's so creepy, freaky? I should know that. I don't like those kinds of movies, but I can't remember. It's a famous director that makes all those animated movies and stuff. But it was cool. It was a cool looking suit. I wouldn't have been wearing it. But then again, Brett is not America's coolest conservative, Mr. Winterble. I am America's coolest conservative. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So I was glad to be part of that last night. And sorry that the 11 listeners didn't get to hear my show last night. But I'm going to make up for it with extra podcasts and stuff like that. Because I know your lives are just not complete without hearing my daily take on the world. So I'll do better. All right, hang on. One segment left, and we're going to burn it down, brother. We're going to burn it down. Hang on.
The TJ Ritchie Show. He's radio royalty in the Carolinas and Queen Charlotte's sweetest prince. It's TJ Ritchie on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Hey. Yes. Final segment. It just seems like an hour and 50 minutes ago we started. Boy, does time fly. Boy, oh boy. We got to bring that back. People saying that. Boy, oh boy. And hiya. We got to do that. Hiya, pal. How's it going? And of course, always the old fashioned, I said good day, sir. When you want somebody to leave or when you're about to storm out. That's a good one. Okay, so there's an article on foxnews.com. And I don't know if there is a more disgusting person in public life in this country today than Ilhan Omar, the Somali Democrat representative from Minnesota. The shady, shisty Ilhan Omar, America hating, Christian hating, black people hating, white people hating, America hating Ilhan Omar. Oh, and Hispanic hating as well, hating all Christians. Representative Ilhan Omar criticized Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York, today for not endorsing the Democrats' New York City mayoral candidate, Zohran Mamdani. Since he became the nominee, the Democrat Party has been embroiled in controversy over how to handle Mamdani's rise due to his, this says socialist policies, but he's a communist Islamist. So if you are endorsing Mamdani, then you are endorsing a terrorist sympathizer, a supporter of the Intifada. You are a supporter of a communist, anti-American. So maybe that's even a little too much for crooked professional Democrats to take, especially knowing that Mamdani hates Jews more than he hates anybody. And so does Ilhan Omar. So this is what she says. Now, Hakeem Indica Jeffries, Big Sleepy, your leader, has somewhat reluctantly but has endorsed Zohran Mamdani. Chuck Schumer still has not. Why do you think Chuck Schumer has not endorsed Zohran Mamdani? CNN host Cassie Hunt asked Omar. Quote, I really don't know. It makes no sense. We as Democrats have always believed that in an election, we support our party's nominee. Schumer has pressured other Democrats to do just that, and he should be following his own advice. When asked whether religion plays a role at all, Omar replied, well, the tsunami of the anti-Muslim attacks that we are seeing is deeply concerning. And I would hope that the Democratic leader in the Senate would recognize that and would offer support not just to Mamdani, but to the millions of Muslims who live in New York City and the millions who live in New York and in America. So you see, it has to be just complete dedication. And if you have any disagreement with a Muslim candidate, then you are anti-Muslim. Let me tell you something. You little demon, Ilhan Omar, you know good and damn well there's no anti-Muslim sentiment in this country. We in this country have laid out the red carpet to Muslims from all over the world since 9/11. Those planes crashed into those towers and into the Pentagon and into that field in Pennsylvania. And before the fire was out, American leaders were on camera saying, we cannot blame Muslims for this. Do not dare say anything negative about Muslims. And from that moment on, it was, now we've got to prove that we're not blaming all Muslims for this attack. And you know good and damn well, Ilhan, demon child, that you have taken advantage of that. You've preyed upon America's good intentions and America's kind-hearted, welcoming nature, and you've done nothing but evil with America's generosity toward you and your people. You know that. You're a conniving, disgusting, filthy liar. That's what I was talking about at the top of the show. We cannot just let these people who use all of the greatness of America to gain leverage in our country to take it over and change it. If you want to be a practicing Muslim, fine. But as soon as you start coming for America, like you're going to change it and you're going to convert everybody or you're going to kill them if they don't convert, no. Again, Ilhan Omar would not even be breathing, most likely, if she had stayed in Somalia. Nor would all those other people from that live in Dearborn, Michigan, and their mayor telling a Christian pastor that he's not welcome in the town hall meetings anymore. And the day that he leaves Dearborn, it would be the day the mayor throws a parade and celebration. No. It doesn't work that way. No. I mean, you want to sit around as wonderfully as you have been treated by the welcome wagon of the United States of America, and you're going to keep, accusing us of anti-Muslim actions and all of that? spit in our faces, spit in the face in the face of our kindness and generosity toward you and your people? Hell no. Nope. You're about to see a backlash. Hopefully. Not just from conservatives, not just from Republicans, not just from white people, white Christians, but it needs to be from every Christian in America, from every other faith in America. No matter what color you are, no matter your family's heritage, if you are an American and you love America, we're going to have to join together and stop the likes of Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, this clown skeleton with an afro trying to become mayor of Minneapolis, and especially stop Rohan Mamdani hanging out with terrorist sympathizers and what are you talking about? Chuck Schumer's got to take care of, what does that send message to the Muslims in New York? What is the message that Mamdani sends to the Jews in New York? You need to really take a step back, Ilhan, the demon child. People are on to you, you witch. People are on to you. Because regardless of what you think has happened in the softening of our culture, we're still Americans. And just like it says in our founding documents, when we declared our independence, we don't play that. Now, that's the fine print of the Declaration of Independence, but it does, trust me, you don't even have to look it up. It does say we don't play that. And we don't. Okay, Mark Levin is coming up next. Remember, God loves you and ain't nothing you can do about it. Talk to you tomorrow.
It's TJ Ritchie.